Commonwealth versus Thomas O'Donnell. Commonwealth versus Thomas O'Donnell. Excuse me, 22 CR 00103. Are you Thomas O'Donnell?
Yes, sir.
You were born in 1961.
I am.
Last four digits of your social security number is 6773.
Yes.
We have an ex parte motion that will be heard later. Is that correct?
Yes, Judge.
And then there is a motion to release property. It was a vehicle. The Commonwealth moves the court to enter an order.
I'm not familiar with it.
Well, I'm fixing to tell you what it is here. 2017 Ram Dooley truck, and gives a serial number to Paul Wilhelm. Now, who is Paul Wilhelm? Is this the victim's truck that we're talking
I
about?
understand there's an order that.
Okay, I will sign the order. I just want to make sure Paul Wilhelm is an heir, or is that correct? Is that correct?
Yeah.
So the Commonwealth has agreed to release the truck to Paul Wilhelm. Is that correct? I'll enter the order. Next matter has to do with sentencing. Mr. O'Donnell, if you had an opportunity to review the pre-sentence investigation report presented by probation and parole,
I have.
is it substantially correct?
Yes.
Okay, is there any reason this gentleman should not be sentenced today?
No, Your Honor.
Do you have any statement?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. O'Donnell, you were tried by a jury here in Cumberland County, and a lengthy trial. You were afforded every opportunity and a valid defense, expert witnesses, that sort of thing. But the jury's found you guilty of murder and sentenced you to life. I've carefully reviewed this case, read all of the statements, reviewed all of the information that was there. I was particularly touched by the victims' statements, the relatives. The deceased victim's mother made a very poignant statement. I don't know whether, I assume she's still alive. She had very serious kidney cancer and lost her son, lost a caretaker. I had to suffer through 2 years or so since you committed this crime. Without she expressed, as the daughter did, to the son who testified in this case, what effect your terrible, horrendous actions had on that family. Your actions have had a terrible impact on this community. This community is not a violent community. We have very few murders that are committed here. You never stepped up and accepted responsibility for your actions, and I looked at you very carefully, even when there was a description of the state of the victim's body, how he was decomposed, how after you left him over there, having shot him twice in the head and twice in the body, his body decomposed. The autopsy, when they would open, I won't even go into the details, but the autopsy would be something that these jurors or anyone who saw this case and this family could never get out of their mind. And then I look at your record, a very sparse record of any criminal activity, and I wonder how you got in this situation. You spent days at this trial and with your very able counsel trying to discredit witnesses who were going to locate the 2 cell phones here that they could track from California to Texas to here, over to the scene. They gave evidence how you stayed in a hotel down in Cookville and looked at the exact address where this murder was. Your DNA was found in the vehicle. And after all this sort of thing, toward the end, you tried to create a situation where you were there. I don't know why you wasted everybody's time and effort going through all this for challenges forensic evidence when your folks are gonna say that. And I will tell you something else, counsel. You know, I've thought long and hard about your closing argument in this case, where you put forth your theory of the case without any evidence whatsoever. So it existed out of the whole cloth. So this, I practiced law for 45 years. This is one of the most cold-blooded, heinous acts that I've ever seen anybody committed. I don't know how, with the background I saw from you, you got your mind to do this. I'll never understand how you could, come up with this plot, use the burner phones to make the appointments, go over there and call a guy that's just trying to make a living. Call him over there thinking he was going to get a job and just cold-heartedly murder him and leave him there to decompose. So maybe you'll have time to accept your actions while you're there, but I'm going to sentence you to life in prison. And I'll just tell you that I think that is most deserved. And if this had been a death penalty case, I would have been surprised whatsoever that you would have been sentenced to death in the electric chair. So you're in the custody of the Department of Corrections to serve the rest of your natural life in the penitentiary. Thank you. Take it out.
Your Honor, I do have an order to allow him to proceed in former populace on his appeal if I should proceed.
Submit it.
Can I proceed it?
We'll give it to the bailiff. You can take him out. I'd like to speak to the attorneys up here for a second. Mr. Hunley, will you come up here? Great. So, practice this case as far as the closing argument is concerned. You absolutely are not allowed to put a factual situation that has no predicate, nothing to better. Again, I think this theory about him being thrown off and other people, there wasn't any evidence. And I was a defense lawyer myself for a long time. I think y'all would carefully consider that. I've been weighing back and forth, but I'll report your actions to the Bar Association. Because you just can't do that. And, so I'm doing some prayerful consideration. Up to that, your opening statement was iffy on these things that you can decide later in a case that you're not going to introduce evidence. You run the risk of someone at that juncture saying, well, she said that this one, but they didn't do it. But how can you justify coming up with a theory of the case that there's no evidence whatsoever? That's a rhetorical question. I don't know the answer to that. But I want y'all to consider what you're doing, and I want you to communicate with